Hi all, welcome to this online lecture series, and today our topic is basic concepts of measurements. So in this lecture we are going to see what is measurement, generalized measurement system and its individual element description. What is measurement? Measurement answers the question how much. So this is very general and frequent question rises in our mind whenever you want to express the unknown quantity value in terms of numerics, then we looks about measurement system. The English word measurement is originated from the Latin word mensura with the motivation accurate measurement is essential. So to understand this statement, so we'll see the measurement system here. So measurement system has input and output. So input is the true value of variable. So variable is nothing but physical quantity. So this process, or you can call it as a physical quantity. Technically we term it as measurand. So measurand is the input. So that is called true value of variable is given as input to the measurement system. And output of this measurement system is measured value. Our measurement system is nothing but a device, measuring device. The measuring device output is a measured value. Okay, input is true value and output is measured value. So this measured value is expressed in an understandable manner to the human being because final user of this device is human. So the whatever value we obtained as output from this measurement system, it is in an understandable manner to the human being. So observer is nothing but human being. So it may be used for tracking control. So this measurement system includes sensor, signal conditioning circuit and display. Sensor senses the input, signal conditioning circuit is helps us to modify the basic sensor output into a required form or desired form to express the sensed value in form of a numerical value. So finally that numerical value is displayed. These are the functions included in measurement system. Measurement is a comparison between a standard and what we want to measure. So that we call it as measurand. So two quantities are compared and the result is expressed in numerical value. So here we can see the image of balance. So this balance we can also say that this is a null balance indicator. Null indicator. Here we have one pointer. So that pointer indicates the null position or exactly the mid position whenever these two quantities are equal. Yes. So this is a standard input or you can say reference value. Here we'll keep the known references. So either it is 100 grams, 200 grams, 300 grams or whatever the value is known, that we can keep it as a reference or standard value at one side, and second side we will take the unknown quantity. So when these two are same, then pointer indicates the null position. Based on this pointer status or position, we can come to know whether these two are equal or not. Okay, so this is a null indicating balance. So similarly, some other devices also there. So this is one analog instrument, and these are some of the digital instruments. So these are used for measurement of unknown input quantity. So input and is a true value and output is measured value of a measuring device. Next, the generalized measurement system. So this is the block diagram represents the generalized measurement system. So this has some number of stages in measurement. So first one is at input side. So quantity under measurement. So that is called measurand system. And finally, this quantity under measurement is transmitted through various elements or various blocks, and finally it is presented in an understandable manner. So that is in numerics. So input is the quantity under measurement and output is a numerical value. So that is displayed on any type of display devices like a scale and pointer or a 7 segment display or any CRT display, whatever it is. Okay. So in between this input quantity and output, there are some blocks, and each block have a specific function in this. Okay, so that blocks we'll see here. First block is a primary sensing element. Second block, variable conversion element. Third block, variable manipulation element. Fourth block, data transmission element, and fifth one is data presentation. The second block, third block, fourth block, so that we can also term it as data conditioning elements. Now we'll see the function of each block in detail. So first one is primary sensing element. The quantity under measurement makes its first contact with the primary sensing element of measurement system. The quantity is first sensed by a sensor and detected by a primary sensor. So then detected physical quantity is converted into an electrical signal by a transducer. So transducer, the word says that the meaning of this word transducer is it is a device. Transducer is a device which converts a physical quantity into an electrical quantity. So primary sensing element first block, so that consists a device that is nothing but transducer. So here we have a transducer. In primary sensing element block we have a transducer. So transducer device which converts the input quantity or physical quantity into an electrical signal. So that electrical signal we can give as input to the second block, right? So this transducer consists a sensor in the initial part, right? Sensor is the initial part of a transducer. The sensor is acts as a primary element in the transducer. So sensor has the two parts. Transducer has the two parts. First one is sensing part, and second one is conversion part. So sensing part is nothing but senses the input physical quantity, and the second one is conversion is, so this sensed response of this sensing element is converted into some electrical quantity. So that we call it as a transducer. Okay. So transducer. So let's say this is a transducer. So transducer has two parts. Input is physical quantity, and first one we have a sensing element. So this is sensing element, and second one is conversion part or conversion circuit. So this transducer, yes, this is the transducer. This transducer first senses the physical quantity. That sensed or response of this sensing element is converted into electrical form. So that output is nothing but electrical quantity. So output is electrical quantity in transducer. So input is physical quantity and output is. So whenever you are connecting a physical quantity to this transducer, which is there in the primary sensing element, so then it senses the physical quantity. So sensor is acts as a primary element of transducer. The second one is variable conversion element. So the output of primary sensing element, which is the first block of this measurement system, is electrical signal of any form like voltage, frequency, or some other electrical parameter. So sometimes this output may not be suitable for the next level of a system. So it is necessary to convert the output of first block, that is primary sensing block, into some other suitable form. For example, so the output of the primary sensing element is analog signal, and the next stage of system accepts only a digital signal. So then we have to convert the analog signal output of primary sensing element into a digital form. So that we need a to D converter here, A to D converter. So in this case, A to D converter is acts as a variable conversion element, that we'll see in the next. So this is the primary sensing element output. Yes, this is the output. let's say this is analog signal, and this is the third block is variable manipulation element. Let's say this is a digital circuit. So this digital circuit accepts only digital signals. So this, if you give the analog signal directly to this, then this will not understand. So that's why whenever we are giving this analog signal to this third block, so we need to convert this analog into a digital form by means of A to D converter. So the second block is nothing but A to D converter in this case, A to D converter. Then this is given as input to the third block. Next, third one is variable manipulation element. So the function of variable manipulation element is to manipulate the signal offered, but original nature of signal is maintained in the same state. The original nature is not at all disturbed, but only thing is we are changing the numerical value of signal. So that is amplification, attenuation of signal, integration, differentiation, addition or subtraction of a signal. So manipulation, the word manipulation says that some adjustment to make it convenient or comfortable to present the measured value in the form of numerics. Okay, so that may be amplification, attenuation, and etc. So while doing this manipulation, the original signal or the original state of the signal may not be disturbed. Next, data transmission elements. So actually the elements of measurement system are physically separated. So we have seen a number of blocks in the block diagram. Each block is separated and the output of each block is connected as input to the second block with some connecting wires or some conducting wires. Okay, right. It becomes necessary while we are we are connecting the output of one block is input to the second block. So it is necessary to transmit the data from one to another. The element which performs this function is called as data transmission element. Suppose conducting wire, we are using a conducting simple wires. So then that wire is acts as a data transmission element. So here one example is there. So whenever we are transferring control signals from earth station to spacecrafts by a telemetry system using radio signals. So here telemetry system is acts as a data transmission element. Telemetry system means it is a wireless data transmission system. So this system helps us to transmit the signals from earth station to spacecrafts, right, with this mechanism, a telemetry system. So in this example, telemetry system, it acts as a transmission element. So next one is data presentation element. This is the last element in the block diagram. The function of this element is to communicate the information about the measured physical quantity to human observer or present it in understandable form for monitoring, control, and analysis purpose. So visual display is very important. So after completion of the measurement, that is input raw material and it passes through number of blocks, and finally presentation element is very important. Okay, so unless we present the data in a understandable form, so then it will be useless. So that's why, so we have to present the data in an understandable form to the human being so that he may use it for monitoring purpose, controlling purpose, or analysis purpose, right? So visual display is very important, right? So these devices may be analog. These visual devices used at output side may be analog devices, so which has the pointer, scale, etc., or digital devices. So simply it has 7-segment display to display the value. Instruments like ammeter, voltmeter, camera, CRT, printers, analog and digital computers, etc. So computers are used for control and analysis of measured data for measurement systems. Okay. So data presentation maybe is the output form of representation. Okay. Now we'll see one example here to understand this complete measurement system. So we'll take the clinical thermometer, construction of clinical thermometer and function of clinical thermometer. So clinical thermometers are generally used for measurement of temperature. Okay, the basic objective is to measure the temperature. How it measures the temperature? First we have a glass tube here, glass tube. Inside the glass tube we'll have the mercury. So when temperature is when you dip this glass tube in the water or liquid with some temperature, so then this mercury inside this glass tube is responds to the temperature. So that response is in the form of expansion of this mercury, and it fills the capillary tube. This orange color is you see here is capillary tube. So capillary tube is a tube which is a narrow opening. Okay, so this goes to fill with the expansion of mercury. Okay, and suppose it stops up to 90, and here we'll say that 90 is the temperature of the liquid. Okay, so like that we use this thermometer for measurement of temperature or body temperature. Okay, now let me clear what are the different elements present in this device. So first one is primary sensing element. So primary sensing element is nothing but mercury, because mercury in the glass tube is the first contact with the input temperature. So mercury is nothing but a sensing element. Next, variable conversion element is expansion of mercury. Whenever temperature is sensed by the mercury, it starts expansion, right? That is conversion element. Next, signal manipulation element. Now expanded mercury occupies the cross sectional area of capillary tube. Okay, so it goes on occupy the cross sectional area. Cross sectional area has some radius, right, and some length of this capillary tube. So it goes to occupy that area of capillary tube. Next, data transmission element. So which element is used to transmit the data? So capillary tube. So capillary tube is the element which acts as a data transmission element, because the capillary tube helps to move the mercury in this narrow opening, right? So capillary tube is nothing but, so data presentation element is nothing but scale on the thermometer stem. So scale is provided on the thermometer stem. So this is nothing but data presentation. Suppose the mercury expansion is stopped at 90 degrees, exactly at 90 degrees. Then we observe this 90 degrees is nothing but the value of temperature. So finally, data storage element is restriction in the capillary tube. So if you observe the construction of this clinical thermometer, so we have one restriction here. So that restriction supports or it prevents the backflow of mercury or reverse flow of mercury, right? So that is called data storage element. Always the mercury is expanded and transmits through this capillary tube and shows the indicated and shows the a particular value on the scale. Okay, right. So this data storage element is nothing but restriction provided at the first glass tube, and next we have a king, right? That is data transmission, sorry, restriction in the capillary tube, which avoids the reverse flow of mercury. Thank you.